There are several different possessive adjectives in French, all of which mirror the subject pronouns. Just like in English, these are the different ways to explain who owns what. So, for example, we have the subject pronoun I. The possessive adjective when I own something is my. We have the subject pronoun he. When he owns something, we have the possessive adjective his. However, it's important to remember that possessive adjectives are, as the name suggests, adjectives, meaning that they conjugate. Just like last unit where we had our adjectives and we added an E to make it feminine or an S to make it plural, there are going to be different forms of possessive adjectives based upon the thing being possessed and its number and gender. We don't particularly care about who is doing the possessing. We care about the number and gender of the thing being possessed. Yes, masculine, feminine, singular, plural is going to change not just your articles, but also your possessive adjectives. This is incredibly common in French. Everything in the sentence must match the noun. We're always going to go back to the number and gender of whatever the noun is for all words that have to do with that noun. Again, and I cannot say this enough, the important thing to match is the thing being possessed, not the person who owns it. We don't care who owns it. That's telling us which adjective we used. We use my, your, our, his, her, their, etc. The masculine, feminine, singular, plural comes from the thing being possessed. So for example, if I am talking about my mother and my brother, whose name is Nick, if he's talking about my mother, we're both going to use the feminine singular possessive adjective. Because mother, the thing that we are possessing, we're saying, this is my mother. Mother is a feminine and singular word. So regardless of if Madame Brenner's talking or if Mr. Fleer, we'll call him, if he's talking, our gender and number don't matter. We only care about the gender and number of mother. That means that our word my has 3 different translations depending on what it is you're possessing. For masculine singular items, you're going to use mon. So for example, I'd say mon père, my father, because a father is masculine and singular. We'll use ma for feminine singular items. So it would be ma mère for my mother, because a mother is feminine and singular. And then finally, our plural items uses may. Just like in our articles, we don't care about gender in the plural. We're going to use may for both masculine plural and feminine plural. Oftentimes when people recite the translations of possessive adjectives, they'll recite them in this order. So they'll say, oh, what's the translation of my? Well, it's mon, ma, or may. We also use mon for any singular items that begin with a vowel, regardless of if it is masculine or feminine. So for example, the word école, which means school, is a feminine word. It's une école. However, when you say my school, we're going to say mon école. The reason for this is that my école is a little bit difficult to say, especially at speed. Mon école is much easier. So, for example, if I'm talking about my brother Nick, I'll say Nick est mon frère. Frère is masculine singular, therefore I use my masculine singular form of my, mon frère. But Linda est ma mère. So Linda is my mother, because mère is feminine and singular, so we have to use our feminine singular possessive adjective, ma. Finally, our plural, Ben, Jake, et Andy sont mes cousins. Ben, Jake, and Andy are my cousins. Since I'm talking about more than one of them, It doesn't matter if it's masculine or feminine, even though those are all masculine. I'm going to use the plural, mes cousins, my cousins, to say that there's more than one of them.